guidance. We can call it the intuition, we can call it the higher power. But when I heed that and listen to it and then follow,
Hmm.
it will show up more.
Yeah.
It will show up more.
Hmm.
Yeah. No,
And when we say it'll show up more, we actually just hear it more, right? We've
yes.
kind of tuned into that radio station
Yes.
because we're always getting
Yes.
the latest intel for what's best for us in this moment in time. And you hear it a little more often. And then when you don't heed it, for me at least, I heed it enough to be able to laugh when I don't. Like, I, yep.
Welcome to Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery, where transformation meets action. I'm Eugene Holden. I'm one of your guides on this journey of personal growth, mindset shifts, and deep self-awareness. Each episode, we dive into the tools, wisdom, and strategies you need to break through limitations and step into your highest potential. No fluff, no shortcuts here, just real conversations, practical insights, and a community dedicated to mastery in every area of life. So, if you're ready to unlock your power, elevate your mindset, and create a life by design, then let's get started. Welcome to Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery. Welcome to the deep end. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery, where we just dive into topics that are pertinent to the day, and we just talk about how we can navigate consciously in this thing called life. This is the month of March. In the month of March, I have the magnificent Ell Graniel with me this month.
Thank you.
And again, I want to thank everybody who keeps supporting us by showing up. And so I'm going to ask at this time, and I will say it again at the end, to share this with your friends and family, and even people you may not even know. So, El, before we went on, you were speaking about how important it is to take a pause. Could you speak a little
Hmm.
bit more to what you were referring to?
Yeah. So I'm on a summit right now, and specifically, what was making me think about it is I refer to something that I call the prosperity pause. And that is to have more money in your bank account at the end of the day, the week, or the month, you buy less things. And you buy less things by pausing before you even put it in your cart, be it physically or, online. And you ask yourself, do I want this? Do I need this? Or have I been manipulated into thinking I want this or need this? Right? Either through advertising, marketing, peer pressure. All of those things are not us, who we are. Right? And so it's been easier for me to do this because where I live now, consumerism is not as like a must thing as it is in the US. Buy, more, make you happier, happier.
Mhm.
And it's just leaving people living paycheck to paycheck and or credit cards maxed out and or I have all this stuff and I'm still not happy. What's wrong with me?
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's one of many pauses. And the work that we do, there's the pause of the breath,
Yeah.
which is so valuable. Doesn't mean holding your breath, it means the pause of being in the breath. So you're pausing all of this mess out here and you're allowing yourself to breathe and
Yeah.
get enough oxygen into the brain so that you can think more clearly. You can
Yeah.
slow down. There's the pause before you respond so you don't
Yeah.
say something you're going to regret. There's just so many ways that society has been conditioned out of slowing down
Yeah.
and swipe, swipe, go, go, hurry, hurry, more, more. And the stress that it's putting on us is killing us.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And we have the power to pause.
Yeah. Conditioned to keep doing more and more. That power of the pause, how I use it a lot. Well, often, very often, when someone asks me, "Hey, Eugene, how are you doing?" I will pause and I'll check in. You know, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I'm good." And of course, we laugh about it, but they don't really understand that I'm really seriously taking the pause to check in. Am I really good? Yeah, I am. So it is really important to take, that pause. In working with clients, I'm going to use the word I stress. I invite them, as much as possible, when they're in that frantic whatever it is of life
Yeah.
and gotta go, 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 to stop and take a breath. I like what you said about, pausing for the breath, pausing in the breath, not holding the breath, but just stop
Mhm.
and become aware of that breath. Because
Mhm.
what just came to me was in the pause, either the breath or just, stopping, it creates space. Right. And one of the most, what people sometimes don't really understand in terms of music, what can make some music so dynamic is the space of silence between the notes. Listening to a
Absolutely.
singer sing and they're doing this phrase and then there's a pause and then they keep going, but it's that pause or the music stops or so, and that's a pause. So the power of the
Mhm.
pause is amazing. It's amazing.
Hmm. And that space you're talking about is in, atoms and molecules. There's more space than things.
Yeah.
And so we are more of the pause than we are of the stuff.
Say that again, right? We are more of the pause than we are of the stuff,
Yeah.
which is amazing to me. Speaking of space, because pause creates space, but speaking of just space, it always has amazed me once I recognized and realized that there's so much stuff that's going on in between this space that we don't see, but
Hmm.
there's still so much going on. Yeah, so to pause to become aware of what's going on.
And the power of it, because when you were talking about music, my brain started hearing Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. She says,
Mm,
and she holds that, and then there's a pause,
yes.
and more is coming, and you're waiting, and then bam,
Yeah.
there it picks up again. It's like, oh, the crescendo of it
Yeah.
all is
Right?
exciting. But
Yeah.
it wasn't the anticipation was built in the silence,
Right.
not in the busyness.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Exactly. Out of the silence, the word is spoken. Out of
Mhm.
that pause, out of that stillness, activity comes. So take the pause. There's so much power in in pausing. The word that came up, that's why I paused. There's so much power in relaxing.
Mhm.
Because that pause can also help us or help me to relax. To pause. Another thing about the power of the pause is, to pause as you began, to pause and think about whatever it is. There is a
Mhm.
question, like, how are you doing? Pause. Or should I get this thing or not? Pause and really ask
Mhm.
and be
It-
willing be willing to listen, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then heed the word.
And then heed the word.
Mhm. That's more of the challenge. That's the bigger challenge. Like I heard you, but
Yeah. I have this imagination that says, well, if you're not going to heed the word, well, then don't ask me.
exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm going to heed the word because what I have learned over my young life, over
Hmm.
these years, gosh, how time flies, is that when I heed that guidance, we can call it the intuition, we can call it the higher power, but when I heed that and listen to it and then follow,
Hmm.
it will show up more.
Yeah.
It will show up more.
Hmm.
Yeah. You know,
And when we say it'll show up more, we actually just hear it more, right? We've
Yes.
kind of tuned into that radio station
Yes.
because we're always getting
Yes.
the latest intel for what's best for us in this moment in time. And you hear it a little more often. And then when you don't heed it, for me at least, I heed it enough to be able to laugh when I don't. Like, yep. Just happened recently. I was traveling and it was rush, international travel, and this and that. I wasn't late or anything, but there's just airports don't have a sense of calm at all. They have a sense of urgency, right? So I get caught up in that. And I had a little bit over on my luggage. So they tell me I got to take some out, but I was prepared for that. I had some stuff at the top. And I'm like, slow down, take a breath,
Yeah.
and just calm down. Because I was
Yeah.
really getting, caught up in this whole airport TSA thing. And so what I heard was, take out your makeup. So I had my makeup bag. Then my conscious mind said, you don't need your makeup. And so I didn't take out my makeup bag. Like, of course I don't need it. Luggage got lost temporarily. So I didn't have my face for a little longer than I would have liked to have had it. So perfect example of we're getting the intuitive thoughts, the things that are, so could have been coincidence. I happen to believe that it was already known that the luggage was going to be temporarily lost. It was trying to be helpful for me to take the makeup out. Doesn't matter if you believe it or not. What matters is when you listen, every time it's right. And when you don't, every time you learn the lesson. Pretty simple.
Yeah, it really is. What I love about listening to that voice, whatever we want to call it, it always leads me correctly. Never leads me in the wrong direction.
Exactly. And what I
Never.
tell people as a little rule of thumb, that voice comes along benevolent, loving, kind, soft, and almost always once. It doesn't repeat, it doesn't nag. It's like, I told you.
I told
And that's how you know that's the voice and not your ego.
Yeah,
Being because the ego comes across as bossy or rude or you're stupid or don't be an idiot again kind of stuff, right?
right.
That's not your higher power talking to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Someone would ask, or I have had clients ask, well, how do I know what voice is speaking? It's like, well, good. I'm glad you're attentive to the voices, right?
Hmm.
And as you said, you can tell the way it feels. It's not bossy.
Yes.
It's really just dead on, and you can feel that once we start to tune in. And I
Yes.
think that's the importance for me, El, of listening to it and heeding it as much as I possibly can, if not always, because
Hmm.
then then it's just a conversation or a guidance system that's
Hmm.
always guiding because I'm always listening for it.
Hmm.
Oh, not just listening to it, but listening for it.
Yeah, for it.
Yeah.
And that can only be done effectively, regularly, consistently by
Yeah.
slowing down the thoughts. Because when you've got all this chatter going on, you're getting the guidance and it's just lost in the hustle, right? And the
Yeah.
bustle of
In the
the mindless.
static. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when we slow down, we get quiet. Oh, so this was a compliment to me. I was working with a client recently and we were working on slowing down and I was always saying, what are your options now that we've taken the pause? What are some options?
Mm.
And that's always the thing. Well, let's write them down no matter how ridiculous they are. Let's keep going with those options. Always. And then that's how we can get a good plan because in the pause, we can think of things we may not have thought of if we hadn't slowed down. So at one point in time, she said, you should change your title to options broker. And I thought that was hysterical. I said I would, except for people would think that that's what I do, and I do it much more effectively than that. But
Right.
Yeah, so I'm an options broker. Let's just get them all out there and make some decisions.
Yeah. And again, we can only do that when we take the time to pause
Hmm.
and breathe. Well, it almost goes without saying that we're going to breathe when we pause.
True.
In fact, it's the pause, it's the breath that helps to facilitate the pause. And maybe it's the pause that helps to facilitate the breath. I guess they go hand in hand.
Very symbiotic.
Yeah. You were speaking about the airport, and people sometimes laugh at me because I want to get to the airport 2.5 hours before my flight. I
Hmm.
don't care where I'm flying out of,
Hmm.
because the nature of the airport is hustle bustle. Let me get through
Hmm.
security so I can go and then
Yeah.
relax and watch the world go by.
There's a lot of watching in
Because
airports.
people are fascinating.
100%. So good.
100% fascinating. I don't get
Hmm.
bored because people, that's entertainment. People are
Every
great.
time.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Yep. How multifaceted we are.
Really, really. Beautifully, as you've heard me say before, beautifully crafted.
Hmm.
Not just created. We are crafted in a beautiful way with all of
Hmm.
these gifts and talents that
Hmm.
we can identify when we pause to take the time to identify them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
And anytime you might be thinking, I'm not perfect, follow that thought immediately with, and that's what makes me beautiful.
mm. See, that's
So,
why folks I keep saying
yeah.
that L is brilliant.
What's the nickname you gave me? I'm going to write it down because it's really funny.
Uh-oh.
Ella, no, something about my thoughts. It's a, it'll come back to me later. Um, yeah,
Eloquent?
yeah, it was some version of that. It'll come back to me. Should have wrote it
Yeah.
down. Just like yours, Eugenius, took a while to stick, and now you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's
Makes you
it's
smile.
stuck. It's stuck from day one. But it took years to get comfortable, you know,
Mhm.
and it took a long time to step into, yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so it's learning how to get rid of all of the stuff that no longer works. You're gonna love the segue here, right? To get rid of all of the things that no longer serve us. So we've heard about the law of attraction,
Mhm.
and I think there's a book coming out now.
Absolutely. So the law of subtraction has
The
been decades coming, and I
Yeah.
think it's listed as the International Academy of Self-Knowledge,
Yes.
the law of subtraction, and it just hit Amazon and other places. And so you have a part in the book. I have a part
Yes.
in the book. It's not a collaboration book,
Correct.
where other people do that and they buy to be in the book and stuff. This is a collection of stories
Yeah.
that help people go, that's me.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was alone. I thought I was weird. I thought it was hopeless. So the book calls to almost everybody at some point of time. And you could read it by chapter. It doesn't, you have to start at page one and go to page,
Right.
300. You can look at it, what calls to you. What I love about the law of subtraction is we know enough. We have enough. We You don't need another self-help book. You don't need another seminar. You don't need another workshop. You don't even need another rental property. You know what I mean? If people would pause, that's kind of, this whole idea. Work what you've got.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have so much,
Yeah.
because I learned this decades ago and I love it. I'm not a math person, and I know I need to stop saying that because I'm making it true. However, that being said, if I spend time in math, I can get better,
Right.
or I could spend the same amount of time in literature and get phenomenal.
Right.
Right. So I can get two steps forward by taking math courses and reminding myself that, math is just a thing. It doesn't define me, this kind of stuff. So I get a little bit ahead. Or I could spend the same amount of time in writing and messaging and workshops on NLP, that kind of thing, and be hundreds of steps
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
So people take what you have, what you know, what you're doing, polish it, develop it, expand it,
Yeah.
share it before you're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Slow down and just make what you have more glorious.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm teaching a class called The Way of Mastery, Diving into Your Genius. And I'm
Hmm.
using the book by Gay Hendricks, right? So what you're when hearing you speak about that, taking math, you can get good at it. You take a couple of steps forward, or I can spend the same amount of time over here doing what I love, and be, way steps ahead in that. So in this book, The Big Leap, he's speaking about, working in your zone of genius.
Yes.
Instead of your zone of competence or excellence, right? Because even though in the zone of
Hmm.
excellence, you can do that well, or you can be competent at something, but it's not your genius. So the law
Hmm.
of subtraction from the International Academy of Self Knowledge,
Hmm.
get yours today, Amazon 16.99,
Yes.
helps to, again, as Elle said, these are a group of stories, right?
Hmm.
That where we talked about, what worked for us, and talking about, to
Hmm.
subtracting things that don't work. Yeah. What let me
Yes.
what is the subtitle? The missing piece for in inner peace. The law of subtraction, the missing piece for inner peace, love and freedom by the International Academy of Self-Knowledge.
Hmm.
Get yours today.
Yeah, good stuff.
Don't
I'm
pause.
excited.
Don't
So
pause.
excited, like, because this has been so long
It
coming.
has. It has been. It's
Yeah.
been it's been as you said, decades
Hmm.
in the making.
Hmm. Exactly. And so
Man.
technically, this would be my fourth book. And then I do have two more in me at minimum still to write. So
Mm,
I'm excited now that this one has reached the publication stage. The other ones have been in process, right? And it's just important for people to know that what we need is out there. And if you just go to chat, you will start you'll start getting things that it knows that you want to hear.
mm,
So it becomes biased very quickly. People don't realize this.
man.
Whereas if you choose a book, what comes through that book is what's meant for you in that moment, right? Or
Right.
not, you can pass it on.
Right.
But you're not constantly being fed things that are adaptable. That's why it's scary when people put relationship stuff in there and that type of thing, because you could put it in one that you go to all the time, and it's going to possibly say, this is a great relationship worth working on, right? Because you've said before, I want this to work. Could go to a new one and put in all the reasons why the relationship's not working, and then that one will say, this sounds like something you maybe need to get out of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm diverting into a whole different topic, but I just want people to know that there's something valuable about the information in books that start to finish
Yes.
have a purpose, that aren't about you, but for you.
Right. Hmm.
Difference.
I'm going to
Hmm.
repeat that. They're not, it's not about you, but it's for you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
That's great. Very sweet indeed. Well, Al, anything you want to leave the folks with?
I guess the purpose of, or the point of how easy the pause is,
Yeah.
and that it's free,
Yeah.
and that it improves the quality of your life,
Yeah.
and that there is I'd be challenged to anybody watching this to comment anything negative about the pause, because
Mm,
I believe there is nothing. There is nothing negative about slowing down, taking a breath, asking yourself, what else could it mean?
great
Asking
question.
yourself, am I being manipulated or is this my truth? Ask a question, because the mind, bam. So in 3 seconds, you can be in a whole new place.
Yeah.
And so I would just encourage everybody to make that part of
Yeah.
their daily. Ask yourself, pause, just ask yourself, jaw relax. Just take a breath and go, shoulders relax.
Yeah. Oh, see.
That alone, gets us at a level where our brain isn't functioning from a place of fear or
Yeah.
stress. It's functioning from a place of, oh yeah, everything is okay, because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not okay. There's people that their safety is, there's stuff going on in the planet right now where people are not safe.
Right.
So this kind of pause is
Right.
challenging, yet in a moment of the pause, something could come to you that you couldn't think of in that moment of panic.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And with that, um, I want to say thank you everyone for tuning in once again. Elle is
Mhm.
with me on the Academy of Self-Mastery all of this beautiful month of March. Can you believe we're in March? Pause, take a breath, and think about that one. And we'll see you next time here on Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery. Be a friend, tell a friend, and share it with a friend. We'll talk with you soon. Peace.